All right, y'all. Here for another review. The Bachelor season, I think 25 episode 7, I believe. This was a whole lot. It wasn't a whole lot, but there was a lot of pieces on the board that was shuffled around. Before we get to the actual review, I know a lot of people have been asking me what do I think about the whole Chris Harrison situation and the racist Rachel or whatever. Okay, so if you guys don't know, and the reason I'm telling you is because not everybody is on the internet, everybody does not know this. So Chris Harrison did an interview on, I believe it was Entertainment Tonight, and he did an interview with a black woman named Rachel Lindsay. And in that interview, she asked him about Rachel, whatever her last name is, that's on the show, and the different allegations about her and her possibly being racist. Um, and that comes from, if y'all don't know where that comes from, go back 2 videos and I played a whole clip about somebody explaining the different things that she has done, from the party she's gone to the different things that she has liked, to the fact that I think they said her parents is like Trump supporters or whatever. So all I really want to say is that everything that he said was bullshit, right? But this is what was really bullshit. She asked him, okay, about, well, first when she asked him what did she think about it, he said multiple times, "Oh, I'm not trying to defend Rachel. I'm not trying to defend Rachel." But then he went on and defended her. Um, Rachel asked, well, what about the antebellum party, that she went to in 2018 or whatever, you know what I mean? And is that, like, how do you feel about that? This man sat on Beyonce's national TV and said, is it not a good look in 2018 or in 2021? Because we weren't looking at it from that lens in 2018, but we are in 2021. I said, wait a second. 2021. I don't even really count this year because we're still at the top. So that means all of 2019, 20, and then for my estimation, that's 2 years in 2 months. Chris Harrison, have you lost your white ass mind? First of all, we already know why that's nonsense. But let's just say you want to talk about race being, again, even though it's always in the forefront. But let's just talk about you saying about race not being in the forefront of everything. Trayvon Martin, that situation happened back in 2012. From 2012 on up to 2021, although this has always been an issue, the Black Lives Matter movement has been something that's always in the media. There's no way in hell. There is, my 14-year-old sister knows about this nonsense. So you want to tell me a 18-year-old or a 19-year-old who was in college didn't know anything about, get the hell out of here. And I'm all for giving people grace for them making mistakes when they were younger and that and all of that stuff like that. But you can't tell me in 2018, that wasn't that long ago, Chris, that my good sis couldn't have been aware of the bullshit that she was doing. And I also want to say, Chris Harrison, because clearly you voted for Trump, because you got offended and said, oh, well, I see people say that just because her parents voted for a certain person, then that means you're a certain way. Normally, now we have said this 1,010 times, in normal circumstances, if you are a Republican and you voted for whoever it is that was Republican Party, am I going to side eye you, me personally? Yes, but I wouldn't automatically think that you're just like a complete racist or whatever. But we're talking about Trump. It's not the same thing. Bush, as much as we can't stand Bush and Trump, two completely different things. Yes, they might both be racist in their own way, like a lot of people might say. However, we're talking about Trump. These are probably the same people who think that the election was stolen. These are the same motherfucking people who probably had people or was excited when they ran up into the Capitol. So in this situation, yes, we are judging. We're judging very much so harshly, very much so. And I guarantee you, when she bring that black man to that house, they gonna sit there and they gonna act like they okay, but we know that they're not. We know that they're not. So Chris Harrison, kiss my ass, and I guess he's supposed to be taking a break off the show. Take a permanent break off this fucking show. It is disgusting that for the first black bachelor to be on here, this is the bullshit that you want to fucking pull, Chris Harrison. Congratulations. Rachel did put out an apology, but to be quite honest, I don't give a F. I do not care, because what Rachel on an interview with ET said is facts. you're not like obligated contractually to not say nothing. You should have bought your ass out the first time you seen something about that and said something, but you didn't because you was hoping it was gonna go away. In my humble opinion, I really honestly think that at the end, Matt is going to choose her. And if he does, I will get on this camera and give you probably the biggest rant I have ever given on my channel. I am going to take it there. I'm gonna I'm gonna take it there. So let's hurry up and get to the damn review. I done cursed both of them out long enough. So we get back to the whole situation with Hannah and Hannah walking into the, spot or whatever, talking to Matt or whatever. And so I came in like 6 minutes late, y'all, because I was watching Love and Marriage Huntsville, which Martell Holt is a piece of work. But anyway, and so when I come in, she's standing up and all of the girls are sitting down and they're pretty much all going in on her. And I have here, right here, so Jasenia, everything you said about MJ, that's what you were doing. And that's exactly why in my last review, I didn't give Jasenia all of her praise, because I felt like she wasn't being authentic. I felt like she was being sneaky. And that the way that she acted towards Heather, it just verifies what I say. You really probably didn't even really think that MJ was doing a lot. You just wanted to get her the fuck out of here and you wanted a reason. Because as soon as somebody else comes on, all of y'all girls, but specifically Jasenia, and like I said before, Kit, y'all both really went in on that girl. Y'all didn't, and I don't want to say I didn't have any reason to. Because like I said, I understood when the last girls came why everybody was mad. So I'm not even mad about the fact that y'all are mad. I just think it's very hypocritical. That's all I got for that. So I love how Piper told her to shut her mouth. That was funny to me. That was funny to me. So, all the girls was like, well, I don't really see how he could bring somebody in this, late into the game, whatever. So of course, this was all just for another reason for production to have something to talk about. This was another reason to fuck up a rose ceremony and not have it go normal, because this was like the third rose ceremony in a row that some bullshit happened. So he packed up Hannah and sent her on her way. And like I don't understand if you, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he say that her friend was dating his best friend? So my question is, if that's the case, why are you just now finding out about Matt? Wouldn't you have been known about Matt when his friend, and her was dating? That's what I don't understand about that. So get the production bullshit out of here. So then it's the rose ceremony. Bree gets one. I really think he likes Bree. Rachel, boo. Serena P, Kate, Jasenia. Who else gets one? Abigail, Michelle, and Piper. So he ended up sending Chelsea home, and he ended up sending Serena C home. I wasn't surprised about Serena C. I'm surprised she even lasted this long. But when it comes to Chelsea, I'm not gonna lie. You know what, Chelsea? You are too good. You are too beautiful and too model-esque to have to deal with his shenanigans. And did y'all see how Chelsea hit that runway walk when she left out? I said, yes, you better serve because you're a bad bitch, okay? So then it's time for the date card, for the individual dates, figure out who's going on one. Now, the only people who haven't been on an individual date yet was Abigail and Jasenia, okay? So when they pull out the date card, it comes to find out that Serena P is the one going on the first one-on-one date, okay? And so everybody's kind of in their feelings, like, at least Abigail's pretty much pissed because she was like, how you giving Serena P 2 dates and I haven't even been on one with you? That was already, to me, the flicker. And I've also said before in my past reviews that I feel like when he gave her roses, I feel like it's because he felt bad for her. Like, I don't even want to sugarcoat it. I really feel like, I want y'all to go back and look. Every time when, I think he only did it twice, but you got to understand, at least what I paid attention to is when he gives Abigail a rose, the first and second time that he did it, he said it was because she was being vulnerable. And the way I looked at it is, it was because because she normally would bring something up, about how her death, being deaf like affected her, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I even said in my last review, or one of my reviews, I hope you're not giving her a rose just because she's told you something about her being deaf and you feel bad. And that's how I personally feel like he treated Abigail. That is just my humble opinion. So, okay, so now Serena P and him goes on a date, right? So they're doing what is it? Tantric? Tundra? I don't know, but some type of fucking yoga, okay? Where it's like very like sexual, whatever. And I'm sitting here looking at her. I'm like, well, first of all, girl, you're super, super flexible. Look at you. And she's super small, like compared to him. But she talked about how uncomfortable, she was. She's not really used to like the positions was pretty much making her feel uncomfortable. And I felt bad for her because she kept saying it like in her confession, like, I'm not really comfortable, but I'm just gonna keep going with it. And so then when they were done with doing the yoga, she's explained, he was like, how did you like that? And she was like, oh, I'm not really used to being that close, and I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't really my favorite thing or whatever. And so then he talks about in his confessional, not once but twice, he says, oh, I'm not really sure how this is gonna work, because I tried to do the date for her and she didn't like it. First of all, I look at that two ways. Number one, that is you and your ego. You're mad because you took this woman on a date, and because she's not fawning all over you the way the rest of these hoes are, and so excited about every little weak ass date that you have pretty much taken these girls on, now you don't know if she's compatible. And secondly, I think it's disgusting at the end of the day that she told you that she was uncomfortable, and your response to that is, oh, well, I'm not really sure if we're gonna be compatible. No, let's get it right. She wasn't uncomfortable. It wasn't even so much about the being close. It wasn't even about that to me. Those were very sexual positions that you were fucking putting her in. Let's cut the shit. That's what it was. She's sitting up there freaking straddling you, and you holding her up. You was looking at her to see the different ways that you could blow her back out, and she was not comfortable with it. And you're trying to hide it as, oh, it's yoga, and oh, I was just trying to see. So, Matt, you've been showed your hand, but this episode to me really, really, really confirmed that maybe you should pick Rachel, because you don't deserve any of these other women on here that are really good. Like, all of the women, not all of them, but a lot of the women that left, like, you don't deserve a Chelsea, you don't deserve a Abigail, you don't fucking deserve a Katie, you don't deserve a Maggie, you don't deserve none of that, because you make trash ass decisions across the board. How dare you? Because she's uncomfortable with something that you did, now it's, oh, I don't know if we're compatible. What the are you kidding me, Matt? So then we find out, we get the group date card or whatever. And so after reading off everybody's name, you find out that Jasenia is pretty much the one who gets the one-on-one. All right. So then we go back to Serena. And again, he's talking about, oh, I don't think that we're compatible because she didn't like the fucking date. Grow up, Matt. Grow up. Like, for real, grow up. And so even though he wasn't uncomfortable, they still talked, and she got her rules. Good for her. We go on to the group date, okay? Bree. Good sis. I want you to come here with me. Come here. You are probably one of the most beautiful women that's on this show. Bar none. You are probably one of the most caring. You seem like you're extremely nice. And you also do seem like you're extremely smart. And I understand that everybody has to make sacrifices coming on this show. But what I'm telling you right now, I don't care if you do get mad at the end. Ladies, never, and I mean never, do what Bree did. Bree said that she resigned from her job. Not even just a regular job. Her dream job. So that she could be there. I understand that people want to be in relationships and people want to have husbands and kids. But when I'm telling you as a woman, just a piece of advice, never, ever give up your career for a man. Don't ever do it. If that man really likes you, if he really cares about you, if he really wants to be with you, don't worry. He will figure it the hell out. He'll figure it out. And I understand that Bree was probably put in a little bit of a messed up position. Like, well, either I could keep my job, and finish that out, or I can do this with him. But this is the thing, sis. Like I said, you're beautiful. You're fine as hell. You're smart. You're all of that. You don't need this show to find a man. You could have kept your job and still found the man. Actually, you've been on this show long enough now. You probably could have took your ass home, and I guarantee you your DMs will probably be crazy right now. So my question is going to be, as her parents, when you come to visit me, my daughter gave up her job for you. I want to understand, as a man, how you plan on supporting her once this whole situation is over. Do you plan on supporting her financially and emotionally until she gets, again, the dream job that she wants? I was so disappointed in Bree. Like, Bree, why? You don't even know this man. And you're giving up your dream job, career, for something that's not even guaranteed. It would be one thing if him and Bree was together a long time. I mean, even then, I would say don't give up your career for no man. But I would understand it a little bit more if they was actually in a long term relationship and maybe things just weren't piecing out right or whatever. Then I can understand that. That was a foolish move on your side, Bree. And I don't care if she do end up getting the ring at the end. It's foolish because guess what? You're gonna end up getting a ring, right? What money you got to plan a wedding? What money you got for your honeymoon? What money you got for y'all to move in with each other? You gotta now start all over again. Bree, I'm not here for what you did. I'm not. I have in my notes, Abigail, I don't think he wants you for real. And then a couple minutes later I have sending her home because so Abigail pretty much said to him, like, I just want you to be real, like, where's this going, because it doesn't really feel like we're really meshing or anything like that. And he pretty much says to her that because he clicked with her so good on the first night, that he got comfortable with her to go ahead and form other relationships. So I take that in nigga terms to mean, what do I have in here, because I wrote it down, that you was always going to be there, so I would get back to you later. That's how I took it. That's what I took it as, in, well, I already kind of like you, so I figure you gonna be here anyway, so I'll get back to that later. And so he ends up, sending her home or whatever. And he's like, oh, I don't want to lie to you and I don't want to lead you on. But like somebody said on Twitter, you did lie to her, you did lead her on. And I commented and I said, yes, the reason why I feel like he led her on is because if Abigail would have never walked into that room and brought it up, you would have sat in her face like you did all of the other girls. Oh, and listened to her talk about how much she liked you. And then you'd be like, oh, I have a connection with you, so I really like you too. You would have slopped her down in the middle of a panoramic, mind you. And then you would have sent her back in the room and said, send in the next one. That's what would have happened. If Abigail would have never brought that up, you would have kept her into the rose ceremony when you sent her home. So Matt, again, like I said, Matt showing surely but surely, that he ain't shit. Okay? So I know a lot of people were upset with Abigail going home or whatever. But this is the dooking Z. Even though Abigail was not like somebody that I felt like would win, I still like Abigail a lot. You had the nerve in Black History Month to send Abigail home. I know she ain't black. And then after you send her home, go in the room with the rest of the ladies, tell her you sent her home, and ask to speak to Rachel next. Oh my gosh. I didn't give a fuck about what was said. I didn't care. I didn't listen. I don't care because I don't pay attention when she's on the screen at all. Then after that, because we're going to get back to that. Then after that, he calls Kit into the room. Now, this is my whole thing. I've been saying it since Kit been on the show. Kit is too young. Kit is 21 years old. Matt is 27. She is too young. She is too young. She's too young for him. But I do, and I don't really like Kit at all because I feel like she got like a very stuck up attitude, and I didn't like how she some way somehow, she was one of the mean girls, but she some way somehow slid her ass from underneath all of that bullshit. But anyway, I do appreciate this part when she said, a lot of people was laughing at her because, she was like, well, I'm a long-term investment and I don't want to have kids till I'm at least like 25, 26, which is hilarious to most of us, like, who's older. Like, I'm 26, and like somebody said, isn't it funny how at the age of 21, you thought at 25, 26 that your life and your career was going to be settled? And the lies that I don't even know who feed you, but the lies, girl. 25, 26, you're going to just be really hitting your stride as far as getting your shit together, as far as trying to get your career and whatever it is. But maybe it'll work different for you because your mama is rich and you're very privileged. So maybe that'll be different. But anyway, she pretty much told him, she don't want kids for at least 3 to 4 years. And how, she don't want to get married right away. And, so he needs to know that if he's going to mess with her. So he said he understands that or whatever. I have in my notes again, Bree, you really disappointed the fuck out of me. Like, for real. So, again, like I said, in Black History Month, you gave racist Rachel, allegedly, I gotta say allegedly because I don't want nobody coming from my channel, RR, because that's what I'm calling. You gave R and R a rose. I literally yelled at the top of my lungs. I lied to y'all not. I know my neighbors was like, what's wrong with her? Because I was pissed. I was pissed, okay? So, like I said, I feel like he's really going to pick her at the end. So then after the date, you know, everybody was kind of a little taken aback. The girls there was a little taken aback that they didn't actually get a rose. And Kit was one of those people because she felt like she was being honest with him. So she ends up going to his place afterwards and pretty much telling him like that she is gonna go home. You know, she feel like, because you know the next week is gonna be hometown, so she feel like, you know, I don't want you to come to my home and I'm not really feeling it. I really believe what everybody else is saying, which is that Kit really came on here to get a look or whatever. Like she came on here to get the look, you know, to get her popularity up a little bit more. And when she seen it was getting, she was really getting like close to the end and hometown was coming up, she's like, oh hell no, I'm not about to bring you to my hometown. Like I live real lavishly and all of that, so we ain't gonna have that. I came up here to get my followers up, I got that, and I'm out. So I feel I agree. I think that's what Kit was there for. So then we go to Jasenia, all right? So because it's Jasenia's date now, so they go through like a driving date or whatever. Matt has like the weirdest dates to me and like the most haphazardly dates. Like when he went on his first date with Serena P, you was on your damn four-wheeler and fucking crashed into the damn ground. Now you in the car and you crashing. It's just too much crashing for me. I've been in car crashes, so I would be really much so triggered. I thought it was corny as hell that at the end she was like, "Oh, come do something, pick me up," and he picked her up and slammed her ass down on that hood. I thought that was corny as hell, and I got in my notes, "Girl, you need to go next." Then they get to the dinner, and I have in my notes, "It's way too quiet." And I got, "She's falling in love, but I don't think he's connecting with her." And what happens? I need y'all to stop having Matt pick up this rose and act like he's going to give it to somebody for him to not give it to him and put it down. Stop doing that, because it's a slap in the girls' faces and us as the audience. Although normally as the audience we can kind of sense when he doesn't like somebody, but still, just leave the rose where it's at and just tell her you don't want to be with her. So he ended up telling Jasenia, you know, that he doesn't feel the same way, you know, about her that she does about him, because, you know, she told him that she was a falling in love. I'm so tired of hearing that. It's bullshit at the end of the day. Y'all might be falling in love with him, but nobody's falling in love with him because y'all don't know him that well. Okay. So then we finally get to the last rose ceremony, and so yeah, so like I said, so R&R has R&R has a rose and Serena P has a rose. So that leaves Piper, Bree, and Michelle. Which at first I was like, I wonder who he's gonna pick. I knew for a fact he's gonna pick Bree because I feel like she's like a top two for him. I feel like Rachel and Bree is a top two for people that he like, and then I feel like Michelle falls underneath that. And so yeah, so he gives his rose. So he gives the rose to Bree and he gives the rose to Michelle. You know, my girl Piper was really, really heartbroken. She didn't even say bye to him. She didn't say shit. She just got in the car. She was pissed the hell off. I understand, Piper. I understand your feelings being hurt. But like I said, not a lot happened this episode. It was just like a lot of chess pieces being moved. Like, you go home, you go home, you go. Because in total, he really sent 4 girls home. He sent Hannah home, Jasenia home, Abigail left, and Kit and decided to leave. So it is what it is. I'm very interested in seeing next week. I didn't realize that Michelle is half white. I said, when I seen her white ass mama, I said, oh, she probably will win. Because see, there we go. Oh wait, maybe I did, because I think they bonded over like being biracial. But when I seen he had a white mama, I said, oh yeah, he gonna feel right at home, because his mama white and his daddy black, even though he don't know his daddy. And y'all know how much he loves to hang his hat on the, oh, I'm biracial and I've had this struggle. Y'all know how much he loves to do that. Rachel next week, her family, we all gonna be holding with bated breath looking at her family, because you can't tell me they don't like black people. I don't care. Maybe she don't, but you can't tell me that her family is her parents are Trump supporters and don't got nothing negative to say about no black people. Miss me with the bullshit. It's gonna be like, who's coming to dinner? I'm out, y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think.